I think there's a reason why the first hadith in most of the hadith books is, every action is based on your intention. Because intentions are tricky things. They get away from you. Sometimes you think you're doing something for this reason.
And it changes.
But in your heart, it's something else. And really, I think it's about uncovering that. Sometimes I know all the songs where maybe my intentions were not that great. Like maybe I was thinking, I think people would love this, or I think this song would do well. But then there's songs that just like came out of me and I did it for the right reason. So
getting back to what you said now, where you said the intention changes where other people, you want to try it, not impress, but you want to please other people. How do you kind of take a step back and remember what your first intention was?
It's very hard. It's very, very hard. It's very hard because intentions, Shaitaan whispers all the time. And Shaitaan, like in the Quran, Allah says Shaitaan makes our deeds fair seeming to us. So Shaitaan makes what we feel and what we want to do like it's okay. So even sometimes you'll see people commit atrocities and you think, Shaitaan made it seem to that person that it was okay. And even on a lesser scale, even our daily struggles, Shaitaan will make it seem like, hey, this is a good thing. And Shaitaan, we discuss Shaitaan all the time. I think one of the things that we underestimate is the effect Shaitaan can have on us. I think we've made Shaitaan so insignificant in our lives. But like the scholars over the year, the Prophet ﷺ said he will come to you from behind and from the front and from the side. And he will never stop. From the moment you are born till the moment you die, his purpose is to lead you away from Allah and to lead you astray. So to be aware that Shaitaan is constantly working on you. If you're aware of it, then at least you can protect yourself. I had a very beautiful conversation with a friend of mine, and we're talking about, your brothers, now they're growing up and they each have a cell phone. And how do you teach them what not to watch, what to watch? And you can tell your son like, hey, don't do this afterwards. But it becomes such a harsh conversation. But if you tell them the truth, I'm taking your phone away from you to protect you because I don't want you to face a battle at night and Shaitaan whispers, check out this video. And Shaitaan's going to work on you. So I love you so much and I want to protect you. So I'm going to remove this burden from you. And that conversation becomes so much more about love than about being, like tough and strict. So firstly, be aware of Shaitaan. Purify your intentions. I think critically look and force yourself to think, why am I really doing this? And if you're not doing it for the right reasons, do not do it. Step back until you can purify it. And be aware that Shaitaan is an open enemy to all of us. And he starts with the small things. I've told you this many times.
Yeah.
Shaitaan is never going to tell you the big things. He's going to start with small little things to lead you like he led many people astray. So be aware.
And also there's just one thing to add about Shaitaan as well that you always say is that people often think like I must protect myself from Shaitaan. But Shaitaan also affects other people as well that influence you. So even though Shaitaan might not be whispering in your ear at this moment in time, he might be whispering in someone else's ear that will affect you at a later stage. So
yes, the story about, Shaitaan gathering all of his followers and his fellow jinn, and each one reports back on what they've done.
Yeah.
And then the one who says, today I split up a wife and a husband. And then he says, you sit next to me because of what you've achieved. So breaking up a family. So that is also true that you might think that he's only working on you singularly. But on the other hand, he's whispering in the people close to you and creating discord. And sometimes you see families broken apart just by the whisperings of something that's bugging them and creating discord between brother and sister and husband and wife and father and son and mother and daughter. And we need to be aware of it. So the advice I would give is be strong. And remember, be aware of it, but don't be afraid of it.
Of course.
Because I don't know whether it was a hadith, but the Prophet ﷺ was reportedly to have said that even A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem is a mighty sword. Is a mighty sword. When you say, I seek protection, in Allah from Shaitan, it's a mighty sword that automatically your heart will feel light. Allah is in control of all things. So to be aware of the influence of your shortcomings, of purifying your intentions, to be aware of it, but also be aware that Allah is in control. But we also have to do our bit. We can't just live in the comfort that Allah is going to protect us. Even the Prophet ﷺ was tested, so we have to pray, we have to do the good deeds,